Hey guys, Diego here. Today we're going to show you how to change the brake pads on your car or truck. So the first thing you're going to want to do is actually remove your engine. It reveals the subframe, which are where the brake pads are. So get some wrenches and start freaking working, because if you don't, it's not going to work. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and jack off. Sorry, I meant the first thing you want to do is go ahead and slide the jack under your car. So when you're looking for a good jack point, you want to find a solid piece of metal like this right here. Not this, this is plastic. That's plastic as well. All right, now go ahead and jack up the car. All right, now that the wheels are off the ground, you're gonna want to grab two jack stands, and I'll show you where to put them, both sides of the car. Let's go under the car right here. You're gonna want to find a sturdy piece of metal like the frame rail right there, or you can just put it here as well if you want. Put it on both sides and should be good. All right, lower the jack until the car is resting on the jack stands. And you want to put a little bit of pressure on the jack, so just in case anything happens, the jack will save you. Okay, so now we have to take off a wheel, and for this specific wheel, you have to pop off this cover. Just use a flathead right here. Then a breaker bar or a wrench will work fine for this. You can have somebody step on the brakes on the inside, or do this before you jack up the car. Once you've broken them all free, you should be able to just take them out with your hand. You can also use power tools to make your job nice and quick. Once you've taken out all the lug nuts, sometimes the wheel just falls off of it. Sometimes you have to hit it with your hand, or sometimes it's super stuck, you have to kick it. But what I like to do with the wheel is take it off and put it under the car. Extra safety protection. Okay, so this is the brake caliper, and these are the brake pads in here. So to get to those, we have to remove two bolts back here and set aside the caliper. But they're kind of hard to get to because you have the front of the car in the way. So what I like to do is turn the wheel this way, so we have better access to these two bolts back here. As you can see, the two bolts are much clearer, and you can fit a wrench in there a lot easier. So it's going to be a 14 millimeter. Take these two out. That's one, and that's two. And let's just pull out the caliper, set it to the side. I like to tie it up with a small bungee so that it doesn't fall and break the brake line. And these are your two brake pads. So the reason I'm taking out my brake pads right now is because my brakes are making a squeaking noise, so all I'm doing is re-lubricating. But it's the same process for new brake pads. So just pull them out. And set them to the side. So there are these pieces of metal right here that you also remove and replace. Basically the brake pad slides up and down this. So this is important. There's also one on top as well. Right here. So while you're in here, it's always a good idea to clean everything. So I have some soapy water right here. And you can also use brake clean or whatever. Just good idea to always have this clean. And yeah, I'm gonna clean mine really quick and be back. All right, it's all clean, so now it's time to prep your new brake pads with grease and also your brake hardware with grease. Okay, so we have the brake pads on the table. And I have some brake lubricant right here. Silicone lubricant is the best for this type of stuff. And basically you just want to apply it on the back of the brake pad. Spread it around. This is where the piston contacts the brake pad, so that's an important place to lubricate. You want to take your brake hardware and lubricate right here where the brake pad slides against it. That's all you gotta do to prepare your brakes for installation. I also like putting lubricant right here where you put the brake hardware pieces. Alright, now you just slide in your brake hardware. Like that. Then you take the pads, where you see this curve right here should line up with this curve of the brake rotor. I have to slide it in slight angle. There you go. They're a little finicky sometimes, but they should slide in eventually like that. There you go. Perfect. All right, let's go over to the brake piston right here. So when you push on the brakes, this piston right here pushes out. So once the brakes start fading out and getting smaller, this thing is pushed out more and more. So when you get new brake pads, you have to take a tool like this, which is a piston compressor, and you have to compress that piston. All right, once you've compressed the piston on the brake caliper, you just go ahead and slide it right on top. Should slide right in. If it doesn't slide in easily, that means that you might have not compressed the piston enough. So you're gonna have to compress it a little more, but it should slide in real easily. Now that it's in, you're gonna put the top bolt and the bottom bolt hand tight. Take your 14 millimeter and just snug them up real nice. Don't over tighten it because you might strip the threads, but just tight enough. Like that. Perfect. Once you're done with this side, you're gonna have to do the other side because brake pads should always be replaced in pairs. Just do the same thing on the other side. Now just go ahead and put the wheel on. I always like to hold it with my foot and then go ahead and tighten one of the lug nuts down like that. Now just hand tighten all the rest of the lug nuts. And the last one. So once you're done hand tightening all the lug nuts, you're gonna go to the front of the car and lower it back to the ground. So raise it up until the two jack stands are loose and go ahead and pull them out. Now you can go ahead and lower the jack. All right, now let's go back to the wheel. And now we have to torque the lug nuts. So grab your torque wrench and set to 76 for this car. If you need to find your torque wrench spec for your cars, go online and search up your make and model, and then lug nut torque. Should be the first thing that comes up. And you want to torque these in a star pattern. All right, that's it. Now just put your hubcap back on and you're done. All right, guys, so it is really that simple to change your brake pads. So now you can go home and with common hand tools, go ahead and change your brakes that have been making a noise since you bought the car. Also, guys, I do want to mention that if you want me to do more of this stuff, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll do maybe how to change calipers, rotors, anything you'll ask for. Just hit that subscribe button, and yeah, let me know how you think. Bye.